So I'm Liz Craigie. I'm lead chef at the hospice, the Treehouse. That's East Anglia's Children's Hospices, and I've been here now 16 months. It's everything I wanted and more in the job.
Brilliant.
It's incredible. So I initially started out in retail. And I thought that was going to be my career. I thought that was going to be done and dusted. And I fell ill with ME, and I had that for about 9 years in my very early 20s. And I ended up in a wheelchair for a while when I walked with sticks, and I never went back to retail. And I kind of jumped around a little bit, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. And someone said, "You make cakes for a living." So I started my own business. A bit on a whim. And I'd done that for a long time, and I had premises in Ipswich and made a lot of cakes. And then early 2023 I saw the advert for the hospice, and it was chef's position. I knew I wanted to cook. Cooking is in my blood. My dad was a chef in the RAF, so he kind of taught me most things. Mum was the baker, and I knew I wanted to cook. I knew I didn't want to go back to cakes because that's quite a lonely job. But I knew I wanted to do food. It had to be food, and that's where my kind of heart lays. And then I came here, and yeah, it's everything and more. It's not just my job. It's the place, it's the people, it's the ethos, it's everything about the Treehouse that just blows me away every day. So, and I hope I'm here for a long time. I've got a few years left before I retire. During the interview, they gave me some idea, and then I had a walk around with Teresa, and she sold it. She sold it to me. And by the time I walked back down that drive, I knew I would be heartbroken if I didn't get this job. And she did, and she told me on a one-to-one basis what to expect, and what not to expect, because I had the same preconceived idea that this was going to be this sad place where children come to die, without sort of beating around the bush. And it was so not that. It was nothing like that. And yes, of course, we have end-of-life children here, but it's not actually the be-all and end-all of this hospice. You don't think of cooking for somebody as a privilege, but probably within 2 weeks, I got it. And I absolutely got everything that she was talking about. And I love the fact that she was singing off the same hymn sheet, and everybody sings off the same hymn sheet. There's that one goal of making it better as it can be. And you can't, we work miracles and you can't make it all go away. But if you can have a family come in and you make their time here easier and nicer and, relaxed, and you think, that's what we're after, isn't it? And I get quite emotional talking about it sometimes, because I think it is such an extraordinary place. And it's not just one thing, it's everything. It has to be everything. It's the care team, it's the symptom management, it's everybody that makes this, it is, and I keep using the word extraordinary, but I don't know what other word sums it up. And when you talk to people, and they all think the same way. There's one goal, and that's to make that stay, that life, that mum's day better. It's about being better, and I love that. You don't get that very often in food, and I think food is love and nurture on a plate. That's what I give to people. It's not just a jacket potato with beans or, a moussaka. it's sometimes making somebody just sit down for 10 minutes, 15 minutes and eat, because some parents come in and they've not eaten properly for weeks. So I think to be able to give a plate of love and nurture and care, I think is extraordinary, and you don't get there anywhere else. So day to day is lunch. Lunch is kind of my main thing, and then event-wise, we've got some amazing events. Tree Fest, Memory Day and Winter Wonderland would be the three big ones. It's manic and it's crazy and it's busy and it's wonderful. When we're in that kitchen and we're doing, 200 hot dogs or whatever it is for the day, and more often than not 400 sausage rolls and a million cheese straws, even that's not monotonous and boring. There's no monotony here. And really no 2 days are the same. And you say, I know it's a bit of a cliche thing to say, but it's really not, because there's always something happening, be it an evening thing, a sibling day, a keepsake day. The amount of events they put on is amazing. And we're lucky enough that we get to cater those for the majority. And we let them have free range. They tell us what they want and we do it. But yeah, nothing's too much. And the kids know now that they get what they want. If they fancy chicken nugget and chips, then that's what they get. And quite rightly. It sometimes surprises me when you've got a youngster who wants a really spicy curry, because I don't have children. I never really thought of children eating highly spiced food or quite unusual food, and and they really like all the Greek stuff and the moussakas and the falafel and things, and I just think, well, I love the fact that children will try things. Once one of the young girls asked me for, very specifically, chicken Kiev, mashed potato, coleslaw and gravy. That surprised me. Because I couldn't quite get my head around that, but that's what she had and she loved it. I think we're very lucky here that we know, because it does become emotional, and it's for all sorts of weird reasons that becomes emotional. The other day I watched one of the care floor staff sat on a sofa with this little girl tucked into her arm and she was reading to her. And that was that proper reading like she meant it. She was doing all the voices and the actions and everything. That proper choked me up, because I just thought, that's what we're about. And sometimes I don't know what to say to mums and dads and granddads and their grandmas, and it's hard not to keep thinking when you sit down with a parent or you're serving a parent that it is the most scary, horrific time of their lives. And what you want to do is give them the most enormous hug and say, I can't make it better, but I want to, you want to say something really prolific and profound, and you say, what's your favourite food? What do you want? What do you fancy? What have you missed? And if you can just give somebody something that is their home comfort away from home, that's kind of all I can do sometimes. But it makes a difference, and it makes a tiny difference, but all the tiny differences add up.